Have you ever thought about making money while you're asleep? It sounds like a dream, right? But it's a totally real financial strategy. And look, this isn't about working harder. It's about making your money work for you. So let's dive into this really cool idea, passive income.
For most of us, this is just life. You get a job, you trade your time for money. It's kind of like being on a treadmill, isn't it? You put in the hours, you get paid. But what happens if you stop running? Well, the money stops too. It's a direct trade, and honestly, it can be pretty exhausting.
But what if you could just flip that whole thing on its head? I mean, really, imagine having money coming in that doesn't depend on you clocking in and out, money that just shows up, whether you're sleeping, on vacation, or just out living your life. That's the big idea right there. That is the promise of passive income.
Okay, so what is this stuff really? Put simply, passive income is money you earn from an asset that you own. The key thing to remember is the asset does the work, not you. Now that asset could be anything, a house you rent out, a piece of a company, even a song you wrote. It's the thing that's doing all the heavy lifting for you.
That might still sound a little abstract, so let's make it super simple with an example. I want you to just think of it like an apple tree.
Now, of course, you've got to do some work at the beginning, right? You have to plant the seed, you find a good spot, you dig a hole, you put the seed in, and you take care of it. That's your upfront work. But here's the crucial part. You really only have to do that big work once.
And then, then the magic happens. After a while, that tree starts growing apples, and it keeps making them, year after year, without you having to do much at all. See? The tree has become your asset. And those apples, that's your passive income. You're not trading an hour of work for each apple anymore.
And this right here is the real shift in thinking. It's a total game changer. You go from just working for money to building something that works for you. You're creating an asset that keeps on giving, long after you've put in that first bit of work.
All right, let's try one more, just to make sure it really clicks. This one is so simple, you could explain it to a kid. Let's talk about a classic lemonade stand.
So, on day one, you're out there, on the corner, squeezing lemons, pouring drinks, taking the money. It's all you. That's active work. But then, you get a smart idea. You write down your amazing secret recipe, you create a little system, and you teach a friend how to do everything just right.
And just like that, the lemonade stand is making money, even when you're not there. You could be at the park, doing homework, whatever. You built the system once, and now it works for you. That little cut of the profit you get from every cup sold, yep, that's a perfect, simple example of passive income. Okay, so we've got our apple tree and our lemonade stand. They're simple ideas, but they're actually the foundation for some really powerful strategies in the real world. So let's move past the analogies and see how this all plays out with actual money. When you break it all down, there are really just these two ways to make money. On one side, you've got earned income. That's your job, your salary, any bonuses. It's you actively working. On the other side, there's passive income. This comes from stuff you own. Think rent from a house or profits from a company you invested in. A huge part of building wealth is just trying to slowly shift your income from that first column over to the second one.
And you know what's wild? This is not some new trendy idea. It's ancient. Seriously, it started way back with people owning land and collecting rent. Then, during the Industrial Revolution, it was about owning shares of factories. And today, well, now it's things like stocks, digital products, and intellectual property. The assets have changed over time, but the basic idea of owning something that produces income, that's been around forever. So what are some of these assets you can actually own today? Well, you've got the classics, like real estate. You own a property, someone pays you rent. Pretty straightforward. Then you've got dividend stocks. That's where you own a tiny piece of a company and they literally send you a share of their profits. And for the creative types, there are royalties. You write a book or a song once, and it can keep paying you for years, even decades.
Okay, I know this can all sound a little big, maybe even intimidating. So the real question is, how does a normal person actually start? Like, what's the very first step you can take? Let's break it down.
Look, there are a bunch of different paths, but here are 4 really popular starting points. You could invest in stocks or something called an index fund. That's often the most accessible way to start. Or, hey, if you have a skill, you could create a digital product like an ebook or an online course. And of course, there's real estate, that classic tangible asset. They're all just different ways to plant that first seed.
But here's the most important thing I can tell you. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not like winning the lottery. It's a long game. Think of it more like building a path, one stone at a time. It's all about patience and consistency, just slowly and gradually building assets that are going to support you for years to come. So,
At the end of the day, the question isn't just what is passive income. The real question is, what could it be for you? From a simple idea like that apple tree to a big idea like an investment fund, the principle is exactly the same. So the only question left to ask yourself is this: what asset will you build first?